Alright, today we're going to replace a cartridge in the shower control. It's a pressure balanced cartridge for a Hansgrohe. The part number is 88727000. This one's about a decade old, and seems to be it's leaking down here at the faucet there for the tub. The first thing we're going to do is try to turn off the water, which the iBox Hansgrohe built in here, rough-in, should have turn-offs. But all right, on the far side here, there's a hole that has room for a 4mm Allen wrench. So I'm going to put that in there and loosen it up. You gotta kind of feel around for the hole, and I had to do a little trial and error to find a 4mm. I'm not quite sure which one was which, but it seems to be loosening. And it came off. All right, just to give you a shot of what's going on inside, the 4mm, when you tighten it, extends in. You can see the hex nut kind of getting tighter there. But I'm going to remove this entire bonnet here to get access to the rough-in panel and shut off the water. Got my knife here, and I'm just gonna score around, cut the silicone bead that has been put there. There you go. Perfect. Okay, gonna do a couple of things. One, I'm gonna remove this decorative chrome fitting that's over things. It's on there pretty tight, but you should be able to just unscrew it. The next thing I'm gonna do is the Hansgrohe iBox has turn-offs here, hot and cold, left and right, and I believe, it's not really clear to me, you just kind of turn it vertical and it should come off or turn off the water. So there's one on the left, one on the right, get them vertical, and your water should be off. Okay, the next part is you need to loosen up this nut. You can either use pliers or a wrench. It's brass, so I didn't really want to crank on it, but it was actually on there pretty loose. So, get it on there. All right. I might need to take this off. Okay, screwdriver. Okay, I'm getting a screwdriver back here and just loosening it a little bit around the edges. And when it gets to a certain point, I should be able to pull it out. Hopefully the water's out. Yes. Okay. Now you can see in there. I might need to clean a little out, just to make sure any scaling that was in there isn't a problem. Okay, so a little side-by-side comparison. We've got the old one on the left and the new one on the right. They are different. It looks like the heat calibration mechanism that is kind of, I don't know, loose and provided through this mechanism right here has been built in on this one. The way you adjust the heat mechanism on this one is rotating this part right here. So it's on this model you can't really adjust the heat or everything kind of goes at the same time, but the maximum heat is set. You can adjust it by twisting that part. I'm not going to do it. I think it's kind of set in the middle. We'll just start there. The other element of this is this new cartridge comes with the little extension that you can fit on here. Another thing is you know which way this goes in, I believe, because you've got an H over here
which would go on the right side where the hot water is, and nothing on this side. And there's a lot of warnings on here that says cold water should be flows first. Okay, got that. So, okay, let's insert this in, and might have to position it a little bit, really apply some pressure. Hopefully fits in pretty well. Wiggle. All right, I applied some pressure here. Got it pretty firmly in. Needs a good, hard, snug texture. And you can see that the things are lined up. Cold water on this side. Let's see if we can get a good hot water on that side. Now I'm ready to put the nut back in that's going to hold it in place. Put this on and tighten it up. It's snug, maybe not over tighten it. Okay, now we're gonna put this little thing on, which I think will help align more vertically the on-off. Put that on there, and just a Phillips head. When we put the handle on, it will be vertical. Next, we'll put this bonnet back on. It wasn't hot enough, but I noticed you can pull this out and turn it. I'm not quite sure which way to turn it. I'm going to turn it to, let's see, that was counterclockwise. And try it again. All right, that was the wrong way, so I'm going to pull it out and go clockwise. Go all the way that way. See if it gets warmer. All right, now we put the bonnet back on. I cleaned it up a little bit. There's a little rubber gasket here. And once again, we'll put the thing back on and tighten it up. Tight. There we go. And there we have the finished product.